Hey children, how are you all? Welcome back to my virtual English class. Now, one good news for you is that today we are going to end the first chapter in your lesson. Okay? The name of the lesson is, there's a lesson in that. We are going to finish this chapter today. Now, before we move on to the class, I will do a quick recapitulation of the earlier class, whatever we have learned. Okay? In the last class, we spoke about a modern version of the fable, the ant and the grasshopper. What was the modern version? Aunt Anthea and Gentle Geoffrey. Okay, so we learned about one more character. In the previous one we read about an ant. Here we read about an auntie. Okay, imagine this character wearing specs. That ant is wearing specs. She's fat auntie. Okay, we also read about Gentle Geoffrey. Okay, this version of the grasshopper that we spoke about in the earlier fable. Okay, we also extracted lesson from this story. Okay, we saw how the dialogues can be different in this story. What are the other possibilities of the behavior of the ant and the grasshopper? And we have also tried to extend the story in our own ways, with our own ideas, with our own plots. We can give a different meaning to the story also. Okay, so we have done that. Now here today we will learn more about figurative expressions. Okay, what is a figurative expression? A saying which flashes a picture in your mind. For example, when we say, see this, does it seem to be gold? Yeah, it does, right? It looks gold. There's no difference of gold between gold and this. Okay, so but when I touch this, I have this piece of gold with me. Can I say I have a piece of gold with me? Is it gold? Now see, is this gold or just a piece of glitter sheet? See, this is just a piece of glitter sheet that shines like gold. It is covered with shining materials, shining pieces of something which is gold in color. Okay, so all that glitters is not gold. When I say this, you have this picture of glittering gold, isn't it so? So this is a figurative expression. Similarly, I showed you all that shines is not gold. Okay, and we'll have a look at a few more figurative expressions today. Let's have a look. Give me a break. Read between the lines. Back to square one. Now, what does this figurative expression create in your mind? What pictures does it create? Let me deal with it one by one. Give me a break. Doesn't it seem like a wall between two things? Give me a break, a wall standing in between two things. Huh? But what does this mean? Give me a break. I mean, let's pause for a while. Okay, give me some time. Okay, literally. Now read between the lines. When you close your eyes and listen to this statement, read in between the lines. How does the picture come in your mind? There are lines and you are reading in between. There are some space in between and you are reading. But what is its literal meaning? Reading in between the lines means try to understand the real meaning. Try to guess the hidden meaning. Okay? Back to square one. Again, if I think of it, it seems like I am going back to a square and one written on it, doesn't it? See, you close your eyes and think you're going back to a square shaped cardboard box and one written on it. But in real, what does it say? It says going back to where I've started from. Going back to the original place, to the starting place. Okay? Now that you know the meaning, the literal meaning of these figurative expressions, Come out of the pictures now, okay? Come back to reality. Come out of the golden glitters and see. This is the reality. Okay? Now, use each one in a sentence. Draw a literal picture to illustrate your expression. You draw a picture that comes up in your mind to illustrate your expression. Swap pictures and discuss your expression. See what the others have also drawn and discuss about it. Now look at these expressions. Okay, these have been taken from the story the Aunt Anthea and Gentle Geoffrey. Summer had been a blast with his head in the clouds. That doesn't sound cool. All these are figurative expressions. Discuss what these mean literally. Now, summer had been a blast. It creates a picture of a blast happening. But what does the real meaning carry? The real meaning is, I had a great summer. Summer was great. I enjoyed to the fullest. Summer couldn't have been better than this. Okay? Now, with his head in the clouds, does it really mean somebody going up in the clouds, head in the clouds like that? No. What is a literal meaning? The literal meaning is somebody basking in the glory of someone's achievement, or somebody simply living away from the reality, far off from the reality in some other world, not caring about what the present situation is. That doesn't sound cool. It gives you a picture of, ice boxes. It sounds like ice, the fridge, the ice inside the fridge. But you know what it means in real? It means it doesn't sound nice. It doesn't sound good. It doesn't sound welcoming. Okay? So these are the literal meanings of each expression. Discuss what they mean figuratively in the context of the story. Now you have to read it from where these expressions have been taken, and you have to explain in your own words what's the meaning of these expressions in contrast of this story, Aunt Anthea and Gentle Geoffrey. We see one more figurative expression in the earlier version of the story. Grasshopper's song stuck in his throat. This is taken from the earlier version, the ant and the grasshopper. What does it mean? The grasshopper song really, while coming out the song got stuck? No. It means that when winter approached, he got choked. His voice got choked in the cold. He was unable to sing because of a hoarse, choked voice. Okay? In the story, in this version of the story, that is Aunt Anthea and Gentle Geoffrey, you find a line, a sentence. Geoffrey tells Anthea he would rather sing for his supper than be her supper. Is it a figurative expression or a literal expression? Well, I'll give you the literal meaning of this. Okay? I will rather keep you company for supper than being your supper myself. Okay? Don't eat me. I'll give you company for supper. So this is the literal meaning. In this version of the story, we were introduced to a new part of speech, which is not in the the 8 parts of speech that we have all learned. This is called alliteration. Okay, what is alliteration? Alliteration is the repeated use of one consonant to make the word memorable. So Gentle Geoffrey, Aunt Anthea. In this way you remember the characters more. It's funny the way it's related, it says about your character as well. Gentle, Geoffrey was gentle. Aunt Anthea, Aunt Anthea, that's why it's called aunt, because it's an ant. Why gentle? Because grasshopper. Okay, so for example, my name Archie ma'am, Archie, I can say artistic Archie. Yeah, 2 times I'm using the same vowel A here. It's not only the usage of one single consonant, it's also this usage of one vowel 2 or more times to make the word sound more memorable. Okay, now as I gave you a few examples, how to come up with alliterations, think about some more alliterations, okay, on your own. Now You see here, the two versions of the stories are given. Now think of an alternative ending. This for the story, the ant and the grasshopper, and this story, and the modern version of the story, Aunt Anthea and General Joffrey. Think of alternative. Think of alternate endings, and what did you learn? List down what did you learn from these endings. Okay, it's time for some fun. I will tell you a story. Okay, story of three fish. This is a tale from India. Okay, once in a pond there lived three fish. First fish, the name of this first fish is Plan Ahead. Second fish is Think Fast. And the third fish, Wait and See. Okay, these are the three fishes. The story is about three fishes. One day they heard that a fisherman was going to cast his net into their pond. So Plan Ahead, the fish named Plan Ahead, he said, I'm going to swim down the river tonight. Think Fast. Think Fast said, I'm sure I'll come up with a plan. And Wait and See fish, he said, I'm too lazy to think of something now. Okay, we'll wait and see. So next day when the fisherman cast his net, the first fish, that is Plan Ahead fish, was long gone. He already swam back to the end of the river. Now both Think Fast and Plan Ahead fish got caught in the fisherman's net. Then Think Fast, the fish whose name was Think Fast, he quickly rolled his belly up and he looked as if he was dead. The fisherman looked at him and said, oh, this is a dead fish. There's no use of it. So he safely put the fish Think Fast back to the water. Now what happened to the Wait and See fish? The fisherman took it to the fish market. The fate of this fish ended up in the fish market. Now as you see, this is also a fable. Did you learn anything from here? Did the story teach you a lesson? Yes. In times of danger, when the fisherman's net comes, you should always act like the Plan Ahead and the Think Fast fish. Never be like the Wait and See fish. Otherwise, you will end up in the fish market yourself. Okay. Now, this is the moral of the story. Now, summarize your story under these headings. What are the headings? The setting, the characters, the problem, solutions, ending, and the lesson. What is the setting? A pond. So there's water all around. Okay, that's where the three fishes lived. The characters are Plan Ahead. See, the characters are Plan Ahead, Fish 1, Fish 2, Think Fast, and Fish 3, Wait and See. These are the three characters. What's the problem? They heard that a fisherman is coming to cast his net in the pond. That is the problem. So they must find a solution to the problem, right? What is the solution? There are three ways the fishes think. The Plan Ahead fish, he thinks of a plan. He thinks of, swimming to the end of the stream that night itself. Think Fast fish, he thinks of like, okay, I'll think of a plan. I'm sure I'll think of something then and there. And he finally, gets rid of the net. He ends up getting saved. And Wait and See, since he is too lazy to think of a solution, he gets caught. So he could not think of a solution. The ending and the lesson. What is the ending? The ending is all the two fishes plan ahead and think fast. They escaped, but wait and see. The fish wait and see. It got caught in the net and it ended up in the market. So what is the lesson? You should never say I'll see to it. You should always plan from before. You should always have an emergency plan in your mind. You should make arrangements for it, or you should plan to think fast. If you are a fast thinker, then at that point of time also you can come up with great ideas which might save you. But never say I'll come to it, I'll see to it when it comes. I'm too stressed to think of something right now. If you think like this, you'll end up like the fish in the fish market. You will end up like fish wait and see in the fish market. Okay, so this is the lesson. Now explain. Can you term it as a fable? Why? If so, why? Does it carry a moral? What do you think? Retell the fable that you have learned before in your earlier class, the ant and the grasshopper. Retell this fable. Or three fish, the fable we learned today. Keep same features but choose different characters or a different setting. Instead of the three fishes, you can have three rabbits, or a different setting. It can be a forest instead of a pond. Write a different ending to the fable. It can have a different ending. Think about the different endings you can come up with. Use the same characters but teach a different lesson. Stress on something different that is also mentioned in the story, in your fable. Use planning diagrams. Okay, step by step, you should write what to include in your plan. Okay, and write out your new fable accordingly. Now retell the story, the story of the three fish. What did you learn from it? And you have to write a similar story, all this, keeping all these factors in your mind. You have to write a similar story and you have to explain what did you learn from it. How different is your story from these these original stories, these original fables. Okay, so this would be today's task. You write your own fable, change the characters, the setting wherever it's necessary, come up with a different lesson. Make sure your fable is written based on these features, whatever has been mentioned, and make a diagram, a planning diagram before the plot. Derive your plot from the planning diagram. That's your lesson for today. That's your task for today. Okay, so with that thought, I hope you enjoyed today's session and you're quite familiar with the three fishes right now. Okay, see, maybe your mom is cooking fish for you for dinner. Okay, so with that thought, I'll end today's class. Okay, hoping to see you all smiling in the same way that you are right now. Bye bye.